Okay, before we get started with the new stuff, what you played, that was good. I mean, that was definitely a challenging thing that you were given. So I was just curious, like how it would go. It went well. I would certainly give a lot more steps, or maybe not a lot more, but more steps to truly push maximizing the speed there. But we're not at maximizing speed right now. We're still just building and gaining control. Now, question. As I'm looking back at previous stuff that you've sent back to me, and it looks like for the scale memorization stuff, the last thing you did was the 4 strings at a time descending. So it looks like we still need the 3 strings descending, the 2 strings, and the 1 string. So we still need those. So the 3, the 2, and the 1, the descending stuff. So let's make sure we continue with that. And yeah, the theory stuff, everything was perfect. So with that, the major scale note naming thing, is that something you already knew? Was this a new thing to you? Did you have any questions with it? Because everything was correct. So I just want to know your thoughts on working through that. So please let me know that stuff. And okay, I'm going to get rhythmic once again. And every bar here is a different rhythm, and we did this with the chords. So still down on the downbeat, pick up on the upbeat, and the notes without the rhythm. So stuff like this, always a good idea. Start just learning what the notes are before adding all the crazy rhythm stuff. So note-wise, we have this. Now the descending parts. Counting this. Now, I'm not as concerned with counting out loud the single note, single string picking, because there's a lot of complex stuff going on when there's a lot to think about when you're changing notes with every pick stroke. That being said, it can still be very helpful to count things, at least at the slow speeds, to make sure you're locked into what the pattern is, what the rhythm is. But counting out loud with this stuff, not as important. However, if you find that you keep goofing up the rhythm, yes, you should count it. So we'll say counting is optional on this. Just got to make sure that it is done correctly. But for rhythms like this, great idea. At least count what it is. Make sure you know what the rhythm is. And then start applying everything. The picking and the rhythm. And you can always break stuff down like this into smaller pieces. You can work on 1 bar at a time, 2 bars at a time, first half by itself, second half by itself. However many pieces you need to break this down into, that's what you're going to do. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 250, 250, 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so theory for this week. Actually, let me pull up what you turned in, because there was a reason for how I had this laid out. Okay, let's do this. So perhaps you have heard of the circle of fifths. I'm sure you did. If you were working with a jazz instructor, he had to have talked about this at least once. So the way I think of the circle of fifths is just a handy way of being able to figure out, what key you're in when you see a key signature in a piece of music, like knowing, well, what's the sharps and the flats and all that stuff. And circle of fifths because, we start with the key of C because it has no sharps and no flats. So that's the home base. But if you go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on the guitar, you can do that and just go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So C, D, E, F, G, G. That is the root note of the key containing 1 sharp. So if you do that again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You land on the D. Key of D has 2 sharps. So F sharp and C sharp. And so basically you just keep going up 5 in key to get to the next key. So 5th note in the key of D is A. The key of A has 3 sharps. So that's what's going on there, a circle of fifths. It's just each key or major scale you had there, it goes up in order of sharps. So each key is increasing by 1 sharp at a time. So you get to the key of C sharp, where all 7 notes are sharp. I don't think you're ever going to see C sharp in a key signature. It'll just be D flat. So, anyway. Yeah, right. So when you add the new sharp, it's like the key of G, the new sharp was the 7th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. F sharp is the 7th note in that key G. And then for the key of D, the new sharp is C sharp. So yeah, whatever was sharp in the previous key comes into the new key. So we're basically adding a new sharp every time. So the next new sharp in the key of A is G sharp. So every new sharp is always the 7th note in that next key. It's always going to be there. The new key, the 7th note is going to be the new sharp. Now, when you go down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's the note that's the root notes of the key containing 1 flat. But instead of thinking about going down 5, I think about just going up 4. So I think circle of fifths for the sharp keys, circle of 4 for flat. Because you go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, now you got the key of F. And the key of F has the B flat. And so key of B flat, use that. 1, 2, 3, 4, B flat, C, D, E flats, E flats. Yeah, so key of B flat right there. Oh, goodness. 4th note up, E flat. And that is the root note of the next key containing a new flat. So with the flat keys, they're the keys containing the flats. Not only is the 4th note the note for the next, or the root note of the next key, but that's also the new flat. That was always the new flat. So kind of a convenient thing like that. So yeah, it's just increasing in one flat the whole time. So yeah, just go up 5 for the circle of fifths, and up 4, or go up 5 to figure out the sharp keys, circle of fifths. Go up 4, circle of fourths for the flat keys. Okay. And I'll got an image here that I want to send over that you can reference. Let's see. There we go. Open with. Really? It doesn't want to just do my open with. What the hell? Open file location. Come on, dang it. It won't let me open it the way I want to. Sure, I'll do it like that. Will that work? Oh, why it's being so weird. Okay. There we go. So yeah, circle of fifths. It's probably one of the better images I've seen. Nice and simple there. So you got, on the outside of the circle, the root notes of the major keys. And then you have the relative minor keys in the middle there. So key of C major and the key of A minor is the same 7 notes. Key of G major, key of E minor, same 7 notes. So it's a convenient thing to have there if you want to quickly run through it. And then down here, in the red text, you got the sharp keys. So you see it's just like adding one sharp at a time. And then there's your flat keys, adding one flat at a time. So just nice thing to reference if you need it or like it. Now, the thing to work on filling in a worksheet. You're going to fill in chords. So this is a bit of a test or quiz to see what you know. See what you know. Also sending over sending over a lot of stuff today. Somewhat old explanation on triad chords, but I imagine you already know what that is or what triad chords are. Not a bad idea to just read through this just to make sure you got it. But the things you and I are going to really concentrate on, or what I like to focus on here, is just simple stuff. So like a major chord is the first, third, and fifth note of a major scale. And then minor chord, you have a 1 flat 3 and 5. Diminished, you have a 1 flat 3 and a flat 5. The other triad chord is an augmented, so 1, 3, and a sharp 5. And then here you got the chord positions or chord numbers highlighted underneath. So yeah, we're going to be focusing on like major scale perspective first, and then the minor scale or minor key perspective. You just like number things a little different, but it's just basically just the one chord starts on like the relative minor. But anyway, I don't want to get too in depth with or too off track. Yeah, basically right here, that is the order of the types of chords. So 1, 4, 5 is major, the 2, 3, 6 is minor, and the 7th one is always diminished. So if I like go in order here, it's like starting with a C chord, C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished. Major, 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 minor, 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 diminished. So we will be doing those shapes eventually. And it does help with the metal things, as well as soloing and riff writing and all that, and understanding modes, finding modes, but what we're going to do, start with like your basic chord stuff. often people call them the cowboy chords. I usually just refer to as like open chords for the most part. So what I want you to do is use as many open chords as you can think of. Use bar chords if you don't know, or if there is no open chord version of it. And try not to overthink it too much. Like if you know of a bar chord first, just go with the bar chord, like an F major bar chord. You know, there's no open one for that. That's it. It's F. I mean, I guess technically you could have some kind of open string version of it, but then it's, yeah, that's like basically your most typical way of playing it, right? So, like, what you're going to do is like tab out the chord corresponding with each number there. So, like the first key, you see no sharps and flats, so that tells you you're in the key of C. So this one, kind of giving it away. So chord number 1, you have C major. Chord number 2, D minor. So you're just kind of going in order, the notes in keys. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Right? So I think you already know that. So that's one reason I'm kind of talking quick here. So basically you just, like, you take the root note, or you take the notes that you're, like for this case, the first note, and then you plug in major, minor, or diminished. And then you go to the second notes, and then major, minor, or diminished. So C be the first note, we got C major. D is the second note in key. It's a minor chord, so D minor. E is the third note in key, E minor. And then F major is number 4, G major is number 5, A is number 6, A minor, and then B is the 7th note, so we need a diminished. So that's one most people don't know. Maybe you already know it because you've done some jazz chord stuff. So let's just see what you come up with. Again, if you don't know it, that's okay. Leave it blank. That's fine. Fill in what you can. And then, yeah, so like, let's go to one that is a bit more complex. So let's say that's G, then D. That's the key of A right here. So using that major scale shape to help you out is a good idea. So, you know, again, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp. So A, you start with an A. So you got A major. B is the second note. So you got B minor. C sharp. That's also minor. So you just move up the bar chord. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Chord number 4. Let's start with a D. The D major. Land on an E for the 5th, so that would be E major. 6th note is F sharp minor, and then we have G sharp, so we'd have G sharp diminished. So hopefully that gives you enough examples and demonstration to get you started there. So yeah, fill out what you can. You just got all these different keys. And just following the whole circle of fifths and then fourths. So it's increasing the number of sharps. And then eventually switches over to the flat keys and then increases number of flats. Now, in the beginning, when you don't have many sharps or flats, you can use more open chords, open string chords. As the sharps or flats increase, you have to rely on bar chords and movable chords more often. So, summarize all this. We need the scale memorization stuff, the 3, 2, and 1 string descending things, at least from what I've seen here. If I am incorrect, please let me know. If you've done the 1 and the 2 already, and the 3, just remind me, because I didn't find it. Maybe I didn't look through everything. But yeah, we're looking for that. And then, because I think you may have done the 1 and the 2, maybe I'm just missing the 3 string. But yeah, just please remind me if you have gone through all that, because if you do have it all memorized, then I want to get you the next key. But yeah, and then the new picking thing and filling out these chords. Okay, I think that covers it. Any questions come up, let me know. I'll see you again in your new videos.